While today's billionaires mostly spend their money on cars, houses, and private planes, those with obscene amounts of money in the early 1900s were interested in smaller, classier things to spend their money on. Originally commissioned by Henry Graves Jr. in 1925 for the equivalent of $202,000, the Graves Super Complication timepiece is now worth $25 million. It was created by Patrick Phillip in an effort to outdo the Grand Complication pocket watch of American automaker James Ward Packard. The Super Complication is the world's most expensive, most important, and most complicated vintage timepiece. With 24 functions, including Westminster chimes, split seconds chronograph, perpetual calendar accurate to the year 2100, and a celestial chart for the nighttime sky of New York City, the watch weighs in at 1 pound, is 73 millimeters wide, and made of 18-karat gold. The wealthiest man in the world, Bill Gates, is known for many things. However, it is perhaps less known that he is a huge fan of Leonardo da Vinci, but not for his paintings, for his inventions and designs. Gates purchased the Leicester Codex, Da Vinci's most famous journal, for $30.1 million, making it the world's most expensive book. The journal is a collection of scientific writings with a mixture of Da Vinci's observations and theories. After buying the journal, Gates had the pages scanned and later used some of them as screensavers and wallpaper files as part of Microsoft Plus for Windows 95. Clive Palmer is known for his unusual investments and claimed to have said that he wants to spend all of his $2.2 billion before he dies. Driven by his love of the movie Jurassic Park, Palmer decided to fund the cloning of dinosaurs. He wanted to use the cloned dinosaurs in his dinosaur park in Australia because, that worked out so well for everyone in every movie of the series. When the cloning fell through, he settled for dinosaur replicas for his park, which was closed down after opening. Palmer is now on his next project, Titanic 2, set to launch in 2018. Owner of the Chelsea Football Club and Millhouse LLC, Roman Abramovich, has an $8 billion net worth. In 2010, Abramovich bought a $500 million yacht called the Eclipse. The yacht is 533 feet long and includes its own missile detection system, 2 helicopter pads, a luxury spa, 2 swimming pools, a dance club, and a mini submarine. The Eclipse was the largest private yacht in the world for 3 years, until the Eclipse itself was eclipsed by the Azam, 57 feet longer and commissioned by the President of the United Arab Emirates, Khalif bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Feeling that a mansion just wouldn't cut it, Mukesh Ambani, India's richest man, built a skyscraper for his personal residence. The Antilla has 27 stories with extra high ceilings, making it equivalent to buildings with 60 floors. The home is valued at $1 to $3 billion and includes 4 million square feet of space above the Mumbai slums. It takes over 600 caretakers and is the world's second most expensive residence after Buckingham Palace. However, since the palace is technically a government building, the Antilla is the most expensive private residential property. Attempting to create a generation of geniuses, Robert Clark Graham opened what was known as the Nobel Sperm Bank in 1980. The initial criteria for donation were simple. You had to have won a Nobel Prize. However, after the majority of the donations had low viability due to the old age of the donors, Graham had to loosen his requirements to allow donations from quote-unquote lesser minds. A total of 229 children were born from this sperm bank before it closed down in 1999, 2 years after Graham's death. Little is known about the outcomes of his experiment. Due to very few people wanting to take surveys, Graham wanted them to take. However, it is reported that one child from the sperm bank was studying algebra and Hamlet in kindergarten. Known as the Queen of Mean, Leona Helmsley lived up to her title on her deathbed. Cutting 2 of her 4 grandchildren out of her will, the hotelier left $12 million to her dog, named Trouble. Feeling that $12 million was excessive to fulfill its purpose, the courts reduced the dog's trust to $2 million, which is much more reasonable for a dog to comfortably live. Trouble had an appointed caretaker, paid $60,000 per year to make sure the dog had everything it needed for a happy and healthy life. The dog rode around in a stretched limo and received round-the-clock security, which is actually needed considering the death threats it received. The Sultan of Brunei, Hassan al-Bolkiah, is known for his frivolous spending. He once paid £15,000 for a haircut and even ordered a special cabin for the barber to ensure he wouldn't get any diseases on the plane ride. He also owns a gold-plated Rolls-Royce called the Star of India. Thinking that a personal jet was not quite big enough for him and all of his friends, the Sultan bought a Boeing 747-430 for $400 million. He then spent an additional $120 million to fix it up with gold-plated turquoise furniture and wash basins made of gold and Lalique crystal. Also known for a lavish lifestyle, Jocelyn Woodland Stein spent $60,000 per year on her phone bill and has a $550,000 annual budget for food and wine. But that is not even the most ridiculous part. Woodland Stein has spent over $4 million on plastic surgery on her face. Specifically, she has spent that amount to make her face look as cat-like as possible because her husband at the time loved big cats. The gesture didn't work out, and the couple ended up getting a divorce. Regardless, Jocelyn is happy with her cat-like appearance. Known as the Rainbow Sheikh, Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan wants to be larger than life, and he wants the whole world and universe to know who he is. The member of the Abu Dhabi royal family inherited a private island of 50 square kilometers. On the island, he carved his name to stake his claim. However, the name wasn't just carved into a rock or put on a plaque. Rather, his name was dug into the earth with 1 kilometer tall letters. The letters were dug so deep that they actually became canals, and his name could be seen from space. The letters were removed in 2012 for some unknown reason. For more top lists just like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out our other lists. And we'll see you all next time.